All right, man, we back. Motor City Sports Talk. Let's get this live preview going between the Colts and the Lions going on Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, going on in CBS. So it's actually step up again for the Lions. I mean, their last two games after the bye, you know, have kind of been step up games. The Jaguars coming off the bye, get on the win board. I mean, they did beat the Colts, but they was a fully healthy team at the time when they played the Colts week 1, and we already know, get some time to get your feet wet. But also, then we played Atlanta, who just beat Carolina yesterday, so that was a step up. So it's another step up. I believe the Colts are 4-2. We are 3-3. So let's talk about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate everybody that will tap in, watch it live. Do me that favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you come through for the replay, hit the thumbs up button still. You can always find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my social media links on there. It's all the same. Motor City Sports Talk Instagram, Motor City Sports Talk Facebook, Motor City Sports Talk Twitter as well. I try to stream live on Twitter. I gotta kind of get the kinks out. Got to figure out where I'm going wrong. I'm not sure if I verified my account or not, but we live on Facebook right now. So shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook or will watch the replay. Want to make a donation? Best way to do that right now is share the video, thumbs up. The Cash App going down beneath your screen. CJ Good 313. PayPal link is in the description. But should be a good game come Sunday. I got the Lions winning this game. Obviously, some people want them to lose. So, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn don't, mortgage our future and draft picks trying to trade for, old Patriots or J.J. Watt or something of that nature. But Frederick, salute. Patriot King, salute. And Jalen Bradford, salute. He said, tomorrow my birthday. I turned 18, so happy birthday to Jalen Bradford. Woo! I was 18 almost, well over 10 years ago now. So, enjoy it. Make the right decisions at 18. Oh, shit. That's shit. 12, 13, 14, 15. They charging people as an adult. So, all I can say is make the right decisions, and make sure you pick something you want to be good at. Don't let nobody force you to say you got to go to college. Trade schools are pretty much more lucrative. A lot of times they don't get you in debt neither. So, you want to go to college and do your thing, or you want to get a trade, paint, be a complete, handyman that pays. I mean, you can make some money under the table as well too. So, I mean, painter, electrician, welder, all of them make a lot of good money. So don't let nobody try to tell you that college got to be the way to go. So, so for sure, even your parents. I mean, I know a lot of people that, got a skilled trade, and, when they get laid off from their social worker jobs, or they get laid off from, their business jobs, I mean, they always got that in their back pocket, porches and, roof. So, nobody talk you out of that. So, so many people talk me out of going to trade school. It's the best thing to do. He said, I can't, hold on, my bad. I missed that. Mo Decker said, I can't go one Sunday without the Lions giving me a heart attack. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no problem, Jack. He said, Patriot King said, not going to lie, I was thinking about going to Job Corps, and then after Job Corps, going straight to the military. I mean, yeah, my dad talked me out of going to the military. I wish I kind of would have went, but not. I mean, make sure you got a stable president in there, because you don't want to be going to war. But, I know some, before I get started, I had a guy that used to cut my hair. He moved back to South Carolina, and he said that a lot of guys that he went to military with got stuck over there like Korea or China or Japan, because they caught something that they couldn't get rid of. So if you do go to the military, make sure you for sure wrap it up. They can't come back home because they caught something. But, I mean, yeah, they got a lot of job programs around, Detroit too. I mean, you can go down to Michigan Works. I mean, the one I know, the one down there at the Northwest Activity Center, they got this one brother. He give you jobs like a mug. So it's a good way to look. But let's get started. I mean, Sunday you got the Colts coming in here, and I just did a show for a Colts guy. He has a YouTube, but he has a bigger platform on Sportscaster, and I'll be over at Sportscaster as well too. Hopefully sometime next week I can start branching off of YouTube and start doing some other things. But yeah, he was basically kind of, we was talking about the Lions and the Colts, and I kind of want to give his sportscaster name. I'm gonna drop it in the description so I don't forget. Let me do it early. We had a good show, so if you want to watch the show, I mean, you could check it out because he did it on Twitter for me. Give me 1 minute. It logged me out of. It logged me out of Twitter real quick. So give me 1 second because I redid my password because I couldn't remember it. But there we go. Here we go. So they his name was Lawrence Owens, and he see if I can find a link. He got his YouTube link on here, so yeah, he got his sportscaster link too. So yeah, so I'm gonna start doing some streams over there. I mean, maybe we do our Lions live streams over there. They got a great setup for that. So at least give me 1 week. Hopefully 1 week it should be, so things can settle down for me. But yeah, I kind of want to do some things other than YouTube because you know how YouTube is, man. If you don't know, don't ever put your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? Never put your eggs in one basket, man. So I can't really get into. I gotta practice what I preach. So I'll be having a podcast started. I got one guy I know I'm gonna do my Detroit version with. So hit him up and maybe we can start chopping it up. So I'll be on Spreaker and all that good stuff. So there goes a sportscaster channel. He got a lot of hits over there. He worked with Clutch Points and we had a good 40-minute talk. I don't think he meant for it to go 40 minutes, but you look at what the Colts bringing to the table. It's bringing they bring in a really good defense. Darius Leonard practiced this week. He should play. One of the better linebackers, not just in the AFC, but in the NFC, but in the whole National Football League. And apparently, Xavier Rhodes have pretty much had a resurrection with the Indianapolis Colts. He kind of went back to the form of being a lockdown corner. We were talking about the nickel corner. They got the highest nickel corner in the league, Kenny Moore. The other corner, I forget his name, is physical. DeForest Buckner has been really, really good for them. They traded their first-round draft pick last year to get DeForest Buckner. And pretty much they're a team that's, got the number one pass defense in the league. They rush defense, not too shabby. They got Justin Houston, who used to play for Kansas City. And then offensively, it's really, they lost Paris Campbell, but it's really T.Y. Hilton, Zach Pascal. They lost Marlon Mack, and they got Jonathan Taylor. But, we look at the game for the Lions Sunday, it's really about stopping the run. You got to stop the run. Phillip Rivers really thrives on running the ball, and what they want to do is ball control. They want to make it third and manageable, third and short, and then, they can run it on third and short. They can go down the field. So Phillip Rivers really don't have an arm. He never really came into the league with a big arm, but right now, he don't have that much mustard on his throat. But you can't give him them windows. Everything got to be tight. You got to treat him like Drew Brees. Hopefully the Lions don't treat Phillip Rivers like they did Drew Brees a few weeks ago. What you got to do is really force him to throw outside the hashes, throw down the field. And why you say throw outside the hashes? Because it takes a lot of arm strength to throw the comeback routes, the out routes. Timing got to be impeccable. And you got to worry about Phillip Rivers running around on us. All right. So this might be a good matchup. They lost to the Jags week 1. The Jags was a totally different team than when we played them. And they lost to the Cleveland Browns. In Cleveland, they didn't have Darius Leonard. And, they was getting 21 zipped by the Bengals last week. And they came back and won. So, this football team is good. Nobody really thought they'd be fighting for the number one spot in the AFC South. So, what we going to have to do is stop Jonathan Taylor, make him one-dimensional, make them third and long, third and middle, make Phillip Rivers stretch the field. If we can jump up on them 14-0, 7-0, 21-0, hopefully we'll be able to hold the lead. But also what's going on as well is the Lions have a different defense. No longer are they vanilla man defense. Now they dropping guys, defensive linemen in coverage. They stunting, they blitzing, they playing cover 2, they zone blitzing. So, it'll be a good test for them because now Phillip Rivers has been able to see what they've done to be successful since the bye versus Jacksonville and versus Atlanta. So we'll see what type of adjustments that Phillip Rivers can make and that Udelin and Patricia can make as the game go along. But by no means are the Indianapolis Colts a juggernaut. Defensively they are, but offensively you got to be able to hold them down. So it's going to really boil down to how many plays Stafford can make, how many plays Phillip Rivers can make, and who can get the big explosive plays down the field and who don't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? So, turnovers going to be very, very critical. And can you create them and can you take advantage of them? Special teams, I think we got a great special teams. They special teams solid. Stafford is 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Phillip Rivers is 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 2 of those was tip balls. They was telling me early on. So, I mean, for the Lions, it's just really the defense. They let Drew Brees come out there with the D team and light them up. And now what you got to do when you got Phillip Rivers or you got a Drew Brees that don't have an arm, sometimes you got to play tight. Sometimes you got to blitz up front. Sometimes you got to take chances. And Matt Patricia wasn't one of those guys that was willing to take chances early on in the season until Sheila threatened to sue her. So sue him. My bad. He should be a Hardaway. He was coaching early on. Frederick, salute. Salute, Davey. I see you. Honolulu Blue and Silver. I don't see this being a huge test to the Lions. Looking at the Colts record, they haven't played a tough record, but still, again, they have the number 1 pass defense in the National Football League. So, it is a step up. So you're not saying they're not better than Atlanta, they're not better than Jacksonville. It's definitely a step up for the Lions, and we'll see if they hold on, give me 1 minute. We'll see if they, it kind of translate. You know what I'm saying? He said they lost to the Jags. That was week 1. So anything can happen in week 1. We could have lost to that Jags team week 1. That Jags team was fully healthy. Right now they have 16 or 17 rookies on there. But they beat the Bears. They lost to the Browns, had some injuries there. And, they did struggle with the Bengals, whatever, and they blew out the Jets. They beat the Vikings. We didn't know the Vikings wasn't going to be good this year. But, got to say they did beat the Colts. They lost to Jacksonville. That's, that was week 1. And there was a lot of things that wasn't determined with them. He probably didn't have the time to get a rapport. He still don't have a great rapport with T.Y. Hilton. Paris Campbell will be out for this game. They don't have Malik Hooker. I think he got injured in their 3rd game. So, but he says they went on and lost to Jags 27-28, who are not that good at the time. The Jags, once again, that was week 1. A lot of teams weren't prepared, new quarterback, new system for Phillip Rivers, and the Jaguars was 100% healthy week 1. So that really doesn't really, don't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the Lions didn't beat that same Jags team. But they said they had so many injuries, no Henderson, had a lot of guys that was out. He said that beat up the Vikings who have tanked. They didn't tank at the time. The Vikings didn't tank at the time, so they wasn't tanking. So you can't say, they was tanking. Who knows? The Lions might play the Vikings and get their ass whooped. So you can't say that the Jets and whatever. They lost to the Browns, which I thought they should have beat the Browns, and they beat the Bears. You conveniently left that out. They beat the Bears. Did the Lions beat the Bears? Absolutely not. They beat the Bears with Nick Foles and not Mitchell Trubisky. Chuck, salute. So you can't sleep on this team. When you talk about the number 1 ranked pass defense in the National Football League, and I think they got the number 5 run defense in the National Football League. So, how can you not take this team serious? I think if anything, offensively, this team is getting held back. And that's just what it boiled down to. So when you look at this game, give me a minute. You look at this game, they dominate. They're dominant. I would say they dominant defense, but they're really good defense. And Atlanta didn't have the greatest defense, and the Jacksonville, didn't have the greatest defense. So it is a step up. Even though it's at home, you're playing a 4-2 team. You're playing a team that got a really good defense, who's good against the run, who's good against the pass. You know what I'm saying? Phillip Rivers offensively, he ain't really doing great. He ain't lighting it up. But you know what? If they run the ball and they dealing with some injuries and they're able to do key passes, it's a tough game. And then you look at it, the Vikings is better than every team in our the Indianapolis Colts is better than every team in our division, not named the Green Bay Packers. And when you talk about it not being a step up, come on. They beat the Bears. They haven't played the Packers yet, I don't think. Then you look at it, if we beat the Colts, the Vikings, the football team, the Panthers, who just lost to the Falcons, the Texans, then a rematch with Chicago, and Green Bay. It get tough. It really get tough after this easy stretch, but you can really, if you can get this win, two 2 more, 3 more, put you at what? 6-3. Get the Panthers 7-3. Texas on Thanksgiving 8-3. If let's say you can get the Bears 9-3, you lose to the Packers 9-4. Let's say you lose to the Titans 9-5. You lose to the Bucks 9-6, and you could beat the Vikings again. You could be 10-6. So it's a critical game. I mean, also think about how important this game is when you look at it from this perspective. What if the Lions what if they win this game and they think they got a chance to make the playoffs and they start mortgaging the future with draft picks? They start trading the second, the first, the third, the fourth, the fifth round draft picks for Gilmore, McCourty, or a J.J. Watt. They if they lose this game, what if they become sellers? You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to ask yourself. If they lose this game, would you prefer them to lose this game, become sellers, or they win this game and then they lose to the football team, they lose to the Texans, and now we're in a situation where we 10th or 8th or 7th or 12th in the draft when, they thought they was really going to be winners and they start trading, draft picks. If Bob Quinn going to be here anyway, next year it's probably going to be a waste of draft picks regardless. But give me 1 minute. My bad. They offensive line, I think, can I think they nasty. They can open up holes. So for the Lions, Panisi, Hand, Danny Shelton, Trey Flowers. We all know Everson Griffin won't be playing this week at all. But for they front, it's gonna be a test. If they able to stuff Jonathan Taylor on Sunday in front of select family and friends, then I think the Lions really got a good chance of going down the stretch and really running the table. But also, do you want this team to barely make the playoffs or end up folding and losing to the teams they're supposed to beat and miss out, and we be the 10th pick? In my opinion, I felt that Sheila should have fired them after the first game or after the second game. Now we're in a position where we didn't take a quarterback last year. Now we probably not going to be in range to take a quarterback this year. I mean, at some point, if you're not going to pay Galladay, you may not bring back Danny Amendola. You may not bring back Marvin Jones. So, will Stafford just retire on the Lions? I mean, y'all got to think about these things. If we win this game Sunday on CBS, and they let's just say they barely make the playoffs and they lose. I mean, are we anywhere different than at any point of Stafford's career? New Orleans, Seattle in the playoffs. So in my opinion, I think she should have made the fire earlier. You know what I'm saying? They should have fired them earlier, but and then you don't have the assets. You're not gonna sell you're not gonna trade Kenny Galladay and get a first or trade some other players. And next year's just gonna be really the same thing. This team gonna be running in place until they really decide to really rebuild. Now I said it before and I say it again. When I said it before a football was even snapped, that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn is gonna be here until their contracts run out. So that is what it is. If the Lions have to get somebody, why J.J. Watt? J.J. Watt, bro. That's just feeding into the narrative that most Detroit Lion fans and Detroit fans in general that these teams go get old players. J.J. Watt don't want to be on Detroit. J.J. Watt need to be on Pittsburgh or Kansas City, somebody that's trying to win a championship. It's no different than where he at right now in Houston. So I don't want no old J.J. Watt. The Lions need to get younger and sprier. He said this game is the big test. If they win this game, they have to win the next two after. I mean, the next two. I mean, Andrew, they should win like the next 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? Because look at it. They got if they can beat the Colts, the Vikings, they should win. The Washington football team, they should win. The Panthers, they should win. And they should beat the Texans. They should win the next 4. They should legitimately win the next 4 games and go to what? 7-7, and what we at? 7-3? But we all know it doesn't work that way with the Lions. The Lions will win a game they're not supposed to and lose games they're supposed to win. So we already know that's really how it's going down. He said Honolulu Blue, so the Colts don't have a good running team. Rivers will have to beat us. I mean, they got a good offensive line. You know what I'm saying? If we play against the run like we did versus Jacksonville against Atlanta, then yeah, they have no chance. They have 0 chance, you know? So we'll see. If they can run the ball and the Lions revert back to their running or leaky defense that they did early in the season, then yeah, they can win. But you underestimate it. This is probably going to be the best offensive line they played this year. We see Green Bay offensive line wasn't nothing against Tampa Bay. Chicago can't run on nobody. They couldn't really run on us other than gadget plays. Arizona, they ain't really known as a running team. Who else we can play? New Orleans had a number of injuries on the offensive line. We played them. Jacksonville line ain't really much. And the Atlanta line ain't really much. So you talking about you probably facing the best offensive line you faced all year. That's what you got to understand. You facing the best offensive line you faced all year. So it's going to be a test. He said, Dr. Kevin Sparkman said, look, the Lions should focus on scoring in the red zone and not gambling on the fourth quarter. I mean, the Colts got a hard time scoring in the red zone too. But, you know, scoring in the red zone is really about having a balanced offense. The Lions are pass happy, so they know, teams know that they don't have to put 8-9 men in the box really in the red zone. Even if you're on the goal line, the Lions are not seen as a physical running team. And also, you know, with Taylor Decker maybe out or maybe in with another shoulder injury, what you got to understand is, you know, when people say the Lions' offensive line is improved, they just had their first 100-yard rusher a couple weeks ago versus Jacksonville. So the sign of a really good offensive line for the Lions is truly going to be, in the red zone, are they able to run the ball and get teams to really bite on the play action, to bite on the run, so Stafford can have bigger windows. So, Andrew McKinney said, do not go get J.J. Watt if you trade to get Chase. I mean, they don't need – I mean, I like Chase Winovich, but ain't none of them dudes going to save the franchise. You know what I'm saying? He said we need to trade for a linebacker. They need a lot of things. It's not going to be a lot of people that can help them right away. You know, so he said the D-lines are getting better. The corners need help. Yeah. That's because they call them blitzes and they doing different coverages. They're not just doing the same plain Jane man coverage and, you know, playing prevent defense. Now quarterbacks got to figure out, you know, and decipher what the defense is doing. Who coming, who going, who dropping. Is it cover 2? Is it cover 3? Is it cover 4? Is it 2-man under? Is it single high, robber? You know what I'm saying? Tampa 2. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out what they're doing. That's the big thing. I don't think the Lions need to trade for nothing. Let's see what this team is. Don't forget, Sheila sparked all this by saying she's going to fire Matt Patricia. And also the schedule is going to be beneficial to the Lions. It's going to be beneficial to the Lions. And the question is, are they a legitimate team? And we beat the Jaguars, we beat the Falcons. Now, if they go there and they lose to the Colts in any shape, way, or fashion, then I think they need to be fired. You know what I'm saying? We need to get these dudes out of here. The faster we fire them, the better the rebuild is. You know, the proof's just in the pudding. You know, they had blown every lead this season they damn near they had almost. You know, the draft wasn't good this year. You know, Cephas ain't playing right now because everybody healthy. Okuda, he ain't playing well. The only guy that you got playing well is Swift and Jonah Jackson, rookie-wise. And a lot of people saying that Jelani Tavai not playing good. You know, T.J. Hawkinson, he didn't improve, but they're not utilizing him the way they should. The kid from Clemson, I mean, I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table when he get healthy enough to play. So you can look at last year's draft, you know, and say, you know what, really wasn't that good either. It really wasn't that good either. You know, is this fool's gold, or you know, have Butelin and Matt Patricia figured out how to make it work? You know, obviously they don't have team speed. And I brought this up in one of my videos the other day. When you look at the New England Patriots, the Patriot video I did, when you look at the Patriots and what they've done, they don't draft well. The Patriots have really gotten by off of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Tom Brady's ability and Josh McDaniels' ability to really get the most out the lesser with that offense. And Bill Belichick don't draft well. That's a fact. So we was ignorant to believe Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn was going to come in and draft well. Go and look at New England's draft history and tell me what they've done. They took N'Keal Harry over DK Metcalf. They took Marcus Easy a few years ago in the back of the first round. New England does not draft well. Every prominent player on New England, you know, is guys that were drafted years ago brought from other teams. You know what I'm saying? Jason McCourty, Devin McCourty, Stephon Gilmore. You know what I'm saying? Just keep looking at the roster. James White, they drafted him. Rex Burkhead, he came from somewhere. You know, they don't have a lot of talent. So that's one thing. That's one thing you got to understand about the New England Patriots and where they come from. What they done well was they took other people's players like Calvin Noy. They put them in a position to succeed. When they succeeded and they needed some money, what they did was they took Calvin Noy and let him go to Miami. They drafted Trey Flowers. He garnished a certain amount of money. They got rid of him. Same thing with Richard Seymour. The Patriots organization is cheap. They can salvage players, but really they don't develop a lot of young guys. They don't draft well. And really, without Tom Brady, it's just really going to expose them. Offensively, they have no weapons. It's really the Cam Newton show, you know, and that just shows you what you get for being cheap. Bill Belichick needed Tom Brady just as much as Tom Brady needed Bill Belichick. He said, "What about Ross? He broke Chris Johnson's speed record. He can run past anyone." Well, why hasn't that worked in Cincinnati? Because you can't use Andy Dalton don't have an arm as an excuse anymore. So you got to ask yourself, why hasn't it worked in Cincinnati? The Lions need to draft. The way you have longevity in this league and you build dynasties outside of New England, you got to have young players. You have to draft well. The reason Seattle is still here because they drafted well. The reason Green Bay is still here, primarily Aaron Rodgers. But they predominantly find some good gems later on in the draft. Maybe not per se in the first round. Baltimore, the reason they still here, they drafted well. If they didn't take Lamar Jackson, they took some offensive lineman, a DB, you know, Baltimore wouldn't be here. Baltimore had pretty much the same offense when Joe Flacco was there. When they put Lamar Jackson in, it's different. You have to draft well to remain relevant in this league. And what the Lions haven't done is draft well, you know. And now Bob Quinn took it to another level. When Martin Mayhew was in the top 3, 2, or 1 in the draft, he pretty much was accurate. He understood you as a quarterback, pass rusher, or really special receiver. So, you know, so what you got to understand here is if the Lions want to remain relevant, they have to find somebody that know how to draft. They got to find a coach that knows how to use the guys that's being drafted, and he knows how to use them and plug and play. So that's just basically what it boils down to for the Lions. They have to draft well. And over the course of the years, Bob Quinn really didn't have one great draft. He had a lot of guys that basically redshirted. Julian Okoro, you know, that Brian kid from Clemson, whatever his name is, Amani Orakwe. And it feels like T.J. Hawkinson is still, it feels like he's still, you know, basically redshirting, and we're not getting a lot out of him, you know. So, you know, that is what it boils down to. Honolulu Blue and Silver say, yes, the O-line, the Colts O-line is the truth, but they still don't run. No, I have 10. I mean, that's fantasy, though. Fantasy and real football ain't the same thing. You know, they run the ball good enough, and obviously they don't have Marlon Mack no more. He blew his Achilles out or he tore his ACL out. So that was a huge factor as well. He's very integral on what they do. He's physical, you know, and what Jonathan Taylor is, he's a guy that can't really get used to that zone running blocking scheme. They saying that he don't know how to make the cut or he not patient enough, and it's going to take time. Not everybody hit the gates out, hit the gate and be Barry Sanders. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it take guys some time, and people, were saying that Taylor fumbled too much. He hasn't fumbled yet. Fumbling fumbling can be fixed. Remember Tiki Barber was fumbling and Tom Coughlin fixed that as well too. So, certain downfalls of a player that they want to pass on is just, it's just stupid. If a guy has a fumbling problem, it can be fixed. If a guy made a mistake, in college and like Cam Newton stole a laptop, okay, you make a mistake. Let's just see what you learn from it. In the Lions criteria for drafting, you have to be a choir boy. And you ain't going to never win a championship with drafting choir boys. You need those thugs. You need those hoodlums. You need some of those crazy guys. And how the Lions trying to build a championship winning team, it's never going to happen. He said, Slum Erican, he said, all I wanted for Christmas is a Lion F and playoff win. Benjamin Fall said, we were 3-3 2 years ago. Let's see where it go from here. I mean, it really, if they beat Indianapolis and they do what they're supposed to do, they can ring off the next 4 wins, maybe 5 if they can get past Indianapolis, Chicago. More than not, Trubisky might be being for Chicago by then, so that'll be interesting to see. He said, "Man, I want a Super Bowl. I don't want to settle for the playoff win. We need a Super Bowl." But you gotta take somebody from the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, Baltimore. Those organizations that be on top. The only reason Green Bay is on top is because Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenal talent. What's going on, Savage Time? He's a phenomenal talent, though. But come Sunday, it's really gonna be the test. Either we're gonna be singing the praises that the Lions about to rip off 4 or 5 straight after this, and we definitely should be in the playoffs. I mean, AFC at least ain't doing nothing. The NFC West is probably the most dominant team, the dominant conference in the AFC, in the NFC, and then the NFC South. I mean, I really don't care for the Saints. I don't think they're that good, but we'll see when they get Michael Thomas and those guys back. Emmanuel Sanders tested positive for COVID, and it's also former Lion Graham Glasgow tested positive for COVID for the Denver Broncos. A guy from the Vikings tested positive. I think 2 people from Denver tested positive, or maybe it was just Graham Glasgow. Shout out to Michael Mike. So make sure y'all check his channel out. Yeah, they should make the playoffs. Just looking at their record, but we know they lose games that they supposed to win, and they win games they supposed to lose. So you can see them losing to Houston or the football team or Carolina, who Atlanta beat last night. I mean, that was a good game. They tried to injure Teddy Bridgewater, but then they turn around and beat the Bucks, or they turn around and beat the who else we had? The Bucks, or they turn around and beat the Titans. I might go to that game. Who knows? They might turn around and beat Green Bay. But to be honest, if they're not gonna do nothing in advance in the playoffs, or they're not gonna make the playoffs, I prefer them lose this game Sunday. I prefer it. Don't be fool's gold. But I feel this is a football team they should beat. I do. I mean, really, give me 1 minute. Give me a second. Give me a let's just look at the NFC for a minute. When you break down the NFC, I mean, Green Bay, we already know they're not as good as they look. They don't have enough around Rodgers, but they beat us, all right? You look at Tampa Bay, they're a good football team. We're gonna play them later this season. We got lost in New Orleans. The AFC Least have nobody in it. And then the NFC South. I mean, the NFC West is really good. Arizona, Seattle, the 49ers around, but I don't see a dominant team there. It's not a dominant team in the NFC, and then you got injuries. I mean, anything can happen down the stretch, but I don't really see a dominant team. Really, the most dominant teams are in the AFC. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Tennessee are the 3 teams that I think they dominate the NFC, and they, pretty much they dominate in their conferences. Pretty much, I don't think Lamar Jackson got enough around him. So I expect Pittsburgh to really do what they're supposed to do Sunday. But for the Lions, it's a critical moment. If they lose this game, I think Sheila should go ahead and pull the trigger and fire those guys. Quinn Tricia too. because you don't want to get in a scenario where it's fool's gold, they beat the Colts and they lose, a few games they supposed to win, or Stafford go down, and then next year you in the 10, the 7th, area, and really you have no capital to move up. The only capital, you can't sign and trade Kenny Galladay. You can franchise tag him and try to do what they did with Yannick Ngakoue to the Minnesota Vikings from the Jaguars. But at this point, you have to know if you win this Sunday, then maybe you try to go for the playoff. But if you lose this Sunday, I think it's time to kind of tear it down. If you're not going to pay Galladay, don't let him walk for nothing. Because this can be alleviated. They could have alleviated this by drafting a quarterback last year. I preached I love Herbert. I would have took Tua. They could have alleviated this pain by taking a quarterback, but they didn't. You take a quarterback, then guess what? I don't have to be in the top 5 next year. I don't have to be in the top 3, but they put themselves in a position where if they go on this year and they do what they do, if they continue to lose, they're not going to catch the Jets. They're not going to catch the Cowboys. So it's in the point where they might as well go for it on second thought. Go for it. Next year you're going to have to pay Stafford a ton of money because he ain't going to play on no non-guaranteed money. So you got to pay him a brand new contract, and it's really like you should have took a quarterback. And it was never a spite on Jeff Okudah. It's just my rule of thumb when you get in the top 3 or 5, the rule of thumb is a pass rusher quarterback or a blindside protector for your quarterback. If you're a left-handed quarterback, it's the right tackle. If you're right-handed quarterback, it's the left tackle. You got exceptions, Deion Sanders or Calvin Johnson or, a Saquon Barkley. Those are the exceptions. Barry Sanders when you get up there. But primarily, it's either quarterback, blindside, left tackle, right tackle, depending on the side hand of the quarterback, which arm you throw it with. And then you're talking about a Von Miller, Khalil Mack, and Ndamukong Suh pass rusher, or it's trade. If you're not going to take any of the 3, you trade the pick. Drafting is really not rocket science, bro. It's really pretty simple. He said, Andrew McKinney, I need a Super Bowl before I die. I'm definitely saving money up for a Lions Super Bowl. I've been to Super Bowl in Indianapolis a couple years ago. It's definitely worth everything and more. I'm definitely whatever Super Bowl the Lions in, I'm definitely going. He said, wartime Christians, that's what I've been saying. We need to hold this team to a Super Bowl after the playoff. Yeah, we didn't been starved too long. I can see where a team like a team like Chicago can say, okay, let's just win a playoff game because they got a Super Bowl. We got championships. We just don't have championships in the Super Bowl era. He said, wartime Christian, if your team isn't in a rebuild, then there's no reason not to make the Super Bowl as a goal. That is a fact. Any year you can get hot. Green Bay got hot and they won the Super Bowl. People remember that. It was because the Lions injured Aaron Rodgers. He got rested and he came out firing. He said, Mike said, you preaching facts. We tend to lose the games we should win. And playing up and down and below your competition is a sign of not a good team. He said, what you saying is stupid to stop Stephon Gilmore. Don't think it's stupid. I think it's an upgrade. You bring in a reigning defensive player of the year with potentially. Then again, you have to pay him. People don't understand that. You have to pay him. Your problem is not in the secondary. You let Darius Slay go. It's stupid to get him. Why did you take Jeff Okudah number 3 then? If you was telling me, we don't believe in Amani Oruwariye, he the best defensive player you got. So why would you bring in Stephon Gilmore? Your problem not in the back end. Harmon is okay. Walker's pretty good. You can find a replacement for Harmon in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. You find Walker in the 3rd or 4th round. Oruwariye is the best player, so he can at least be bare minimum number 2. Then tell me why did you draft Jeff Okudah? Why? So you're not the type of team that's okay. I'm gonna have a rental with J.J. Watt. I'm gonna rent Stephon Gilmore. Come on, you can put Stephon Gilmore in the team, and you still got a problem rushing the passer. Now, if you tell me, I know he's not healthy. Oh, we're gonna trade for Von Miller, then that's a game changer. A DB is not gonna make or break a team all the time. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles, dude. Yeah, they won the championship. Like 10,000 of their DBs went down, but they were solid in the front end of the defense. Stephon Gilmore was just to be the most idiot move you can make. You turn around and let's say you franchise Kenny Galladay, just hypothetically, right? And Stephon Gilmore. Let me look up his contract. Give me a minute. Let me look at his contract because I think he got to get paid up. So you can't franchise Both of them. You only can franchise one. You only can franchise one. So hold on. They don't do oh yeah, they do. Just didn't pull up for me. Contracts in the Google tab for football players. So you got to pay him after next season. Now, there's a problem here, right? He is only have a base salary of $7 million next year. Think about this for a minute. He's a 30-year-old corner, right? Who next season is playing on his last year of $7 million. His base salary is $7 million. His signing bonus is 3.6. So he's not making the $13 million he made. You know what I'm saying? He restructured this deal. So he's not going to get the money that he made, in previous years. You know what I'm saying? His cap hit is going to be $20 million next year. His dead money, it just doesn't make no sense to go out there and trade a first or trade a second round pick for a 31-year-old cornerback. If this was Von Miller, if this was Khalil Mack, I get it. A cornerback, this is not Madden, people. A cornerback is not going to change your defense from being first to being 21st. The biggest difference is in the trenches, in the front seven. Stephon Gilmore would be stupid not have you drafted Tua Tagovailoa and you brought him in. Then why did you bring in Jeff Okudah? Why did you bring in Desmond Trufant? You know what I'm saying? Why did you bring in Justin Coleman? It just doesn't make no sense. Why did you just then keep Darius Slay? That's what you got to ask yourself. A cornerback is not going to change this team from what it is to make. Come on. I can pick on Coleman. It's the same reason you spend all that money on Jesse James and then you spend all that money on Hockenson and how they getting utilized. You can give me some cornerbacks. You can give me sheesh. You can give me two good. You give me a Aurier, and you can give me a guy like I don't know, Jair Alexander. He's really good in Green Bay. I love him. Come out the draft. I can be okay. I don't need Stephon Gilmore to really solidify me. If Stephon Gilmore was so good, why didn't he pull? If he mattered so much, why he didn't get to damn the New England Patriots to the Super Bowl last year? I ain't studying no cornerback. If I'm building a football team, it's from the front end to the back end. That's how you build it. If this was a pass rusher, then I'm all for it. Wartime Christian say we got to stop having a losing mentality when we have the tools to get the job done. Yeah, you spend a lot of money on them players. He said, Maurice Smith says, in my opinion, if the line gives Stafford time, we can compete with almost anybody. They give Stafford time. The issue is they don't run the ball and they don't utilize the tight end position. I would have came out with 2 tight ends all season. It ain't about time. If you're able to run the ball, you'll have a solid pass defense. Wartime Christian say again, everything on our team is serviceable. So the little ingenuity and creativity, Super Bowl is not an unrealistic goal. Sheesh. It is what it is. You gotta have the coaching. I think the Lions will have a better record than the Bears. I don't know what the Bears schedule really brings, but let me look at the Bears. I think we will see Trubisky in there at some point. They probably losing Sunday to the Saints. They probably losing to the Titans. They beat the Vikings. They losing to the Packers. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm gonna say they probably win 1, 2, 3. Sheesh. They probably will win 4 or 5 more games. So what they sitting at? Excuse me. They sitting at. I can see them being 9-6. Because I can see them beating us maybe again. I can see them beating the Vikings. They losing to the Packers twice. I can see them beating the Texans. I can see them beating I see them beating the Vikings twice. The Jaguars. Maybe us. I can see them getting 9 or 8 wins. I can see that happening. I definitely can see that happening. He said Wartime had more tools than Tim Taylor and still failed. Well, yeah. He said, I agree we lose. They lose their job. Hey, if they lose this Sunday, fire them. Just I mean, you got to, unless you're going out there to get a quarterback. I mean, on a trade, I would get Haskins to try. Maybe you pay Stafford on a 1-and-1 deal this year. You're making one of the highest paid quarterbacks for short term, 1 year with a team option. The real question is who wants the job. I mean, I mean, that's a good question. If a job pay, you're gonna do it. There's some people that that be in the little oil fields with under in the water, and they take years off their life, but it pays so good and they do it. All Sheila has to do is be smart. I mean, she threatened to fire, Matt Patricia, and it put a fire under him. Speaking fast, Herbert or Tua, dang, I'm still upset about it. I mean, I knew Herbert was good, but people fought me on that. On my other channel, he's not good. I had another guy that watched him play in Portland and said he was good. I knew he was good. Excuse me. Had he came out 2 years ago, he came out in 2019 instead of 2020, he would have been the first overall draft pick. You've been to Super? Yeah, I've been to Super. I've been to the Indianapolis Colts. I used to work at Ford Field, so they paid for us to go to be security. I had the best seat in the house. I seen Beyonce perform. I seen a couple people almost fight. Yeah, I had fun. Yeah, I had fun. It was great. And I was there for free. It's definitely worth it though. But yeah, Walker is the best player, and then Tracy Walker. Now you put him in a box. He the other best player. He said, "Which Super Bowl you went to?" When the Patriots lost to the Colts the second time. I seen that. I think it was I seen when Julian Edelman was it? I think it was Wes Walker. Tom Brady threw a pass to him and he dropped it, and that was the turning point in that game. He dropped that pass, and what was my man that Eli passed it to? I think he went to Michigan. Y'all know I'm talking about, the kid that Eli made the throw down in the cover two. He dropped it between the DB and the corner. Man, what was the name of that kid that made that catch in the Super Bowl? Jesus, he went to the University of Michigan, I think. Mario Manningham, that's who it was. Jeez, I don't know how I forgot Manningham. I was right. I was the one too far away when he made that play from to Manningham. I didn't get to sit on the field, but some people got to sit on the field. And that's to do security. But I had fun, man. Would you rather get a DT or it depends? I mean, if you say I can get Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack, you know what? I'm gonna go with Aaron Donald because the quickest way to the quarterback is in a straight line. I still got my memorabilia from the Super Bowl. I got a hat. I bought a book. I think that book is in my my trunk right here. If I can, it got juice on there. That's what happened to my book. But I got the book. I got the bag somewhere in my closet right here. I just cleaned my closet, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. One day I'll find it and I'll pull my stuff out. I'll find it because I had all that. I had a bag and they gave us some free. I seen Deion Sanders, Snoop Dogg, AJ from 106 in Park. I think Spike Lee was there. I seen a lot of people, and I got to walk. I got to walk anywhere in Lucas Stadium because we was there like mad hours before the Super Bowl started, and it was some people because they had a tunnel that goes from I think it goes from Conseco Fieldhouse where the Pacers play, whatever they call it now, and it goes to the Lucas Oil Stadium. And when you walk on the stadium, when you walked on the to the Lucas Oil, like the field, they have all these Super Bowl things to do at the Super Bowl. They had games, and you walk inside, they had more games, and people was getting stationed. At the time, I was really, really cocky. I lifted a lot of weights. I just started back lifting a couple years ago, but at this time I was big, so they put me at a good part. I met Linda Cohn from ESPN, and I walked around the whole Lucas Oil Stadium. I seen they suites. I went to where nobody went before, so yeah, it was so fun, bro. It was so. I got paid like $300-400 just for doing it that night. If you're not in the front seven strong, I don't care who you have in the back end, it will not be good. That is facts. I get one of those here. Hold on. I don't know. I'm on StreamYard, so let me see if I can give it to you. No, I can't give it to you on StreamYard. Give me a minute. Let me hop on my phone. I'm about to turn my heat up. Shit, my feet freezing. Found my damn, what you call them damn socks? Them hospital socks. Hold on. Let me see if I can find you. They got to change that. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing some things on Sportscaster. I'm gonna set it up pretty soon. Um, so I'll let you guys know when I join Sportscaster, and then I'll be on Spreaker pretty soon. So I'm pretty much kind of getting away from this YouTube stuff. It's just too much politics. I'm gonna still do a lot of YouTube, but I'm gonna kind of spread it out a little bit. He said Bears can for sure beat the Titans. I mean, on any given Sunday, just they don't stop the run, so they definitely losing. That week I'm starting Derrick Henry that week for sure. He said Tekken Gastis. Hopefully I said your name right. He said I'll still have hope that Quentin Williams becomes available after Sunday, second rounder. Well, they said he's not available. So he said Herbert got a big one. He got good legs too, bro. You know, some people was telling me that, oh, Herbert's not that good, and look what he did at Oregon. Sometimes a college can hold a kid back. Oregon hasn't historically won. When they beat Florida State in the Rose Bowl, I think it was a new playoff thing, and they got beat up by Ohio State. So, you know, Oregon has just not been a program that win. A lot of people say, well, Joy Harrington, no. I can't put Joy Harrington and Marcus Mariota shortcomings on Herbert. Herbert should have came out in 2019, would have been first quarterback took it. The Lions had an opportunity to get a first-round talent. He could have sat behind Stafford for 1 year, 2 years, and he's 6'6". He got really good athleticism, arm, and unfortunately for him, he landed with the Chargers, who don't care to win. I remember 1 year they won 14-2, and I think LT got injured, and that's when he got criticized for putting his helmet on and not engaging. They said, I forget what they said, and then that same game or the next week in the playoffs, Phillip Rivers tore his ACL. So, yeah. He said Tyree. Yeah, was it? No, that was the first Super Bowl. That's when Randy Moss was on the team. This Super Bowl was sheesh. Man, was this 11, 12? This was one in Indianapolis. The first one, I forget, maybe they was in Arizona. But people forget Ben Roethlisberger got 2 Super Bowls too. If he get a third one, I don't care how many stats Drew Brees put up. I think Roethlisberger deserved to be above Drew Brees. People forget Roethlisberger got one in Detroit, and he got another one. I think it was Arizona. I was in college then. We was watching that in the little dorm lobby. If he get a third Super Bowl, man, Drew Brees and choked so many times in the playoffs. You got to put Roethlisberger above him. Now remember, Drew Brees didn't really earn that Super Bowl. Tracy Porter picked off Peyton Manning. I got paid that day. That Green Bay, I got paid every week. Green Bay won into the Super Bowl. I got paid versus. I remember these games. I got paid versus Philly. I got paid versus Atlanta. I got paid big versus Atlanta. I got paid versus Chicago, which Chicago could have won that game. I think that was the bicycle game with Jay Cutler. And then I got paid versus the Steelers. See, Roethlisberger could be going on 4 Super Bowls right now. People forget how good Roethlisberger is. He's a good quarterback. And people give Drew Brees a pass. They so hard on Tom Brady, but Drew Brees be choking like a mug too. Tom Brady, he said John Brady overthrew Julian Edelman, would have been a game-winning. Was it Julian Edelman? I think it was Wes Welker, bro. You could be right. I think it was Wes. It was one of them. Could have been Wes. But it could have been Julian, but he overthrew him, or he could have caught it. I can't remember what they said. So, one Pride Nation salute. Y'all check his channel out too. Hold on, I went back by mistake. That's my fault. My bad. I'm gonna get back up here. He said we need a linebacker. You need everything up front. The Lions need to win and look like the NFL playoff team doing it. No fluke BS and win. But they never Detroit 313 - they never really dominate football games like win by 20, 30 points. So it's just kind of been the makeup of the team. Y'all check out One Pride Nation channel. He said born to bet. That sounds like a name I like. The Colts dude got a sweet screenplay book. That's what we need to watch for real. Yeah, with Jonathan Taylor, they got game-breaking speed too. He said that's fact. College for sure held Devin Booker. He played in. He played in Kentucky. So You know, you overstacking in Kentucky. It happened. I knew Booker can play. I told people Tyler Hero can play. Go watch my Tyler Hero spotlight. I wish the Pistons traded up for him. You know, he's a good player. He said Herbert, Oregon, and Allen and Wyoming are teams that were garbage. Well, you know, when Chip Kelly left Oregon, that was a match made in heaven. He got beat up by in UCLA. Is Chip Kelly still at UCLA? But don't forget tomorrow, Spartan fans, y'all about to get whooped. I hope we put 100 on them. It'd be my luck that Michigan State come alive next week, wouldn't it? You never count anybody out in the rivalry game. AJG salute. Yeah, beat Ohio State. We beat Ohio State. I'm going crazy this year, bro. Hey man, I'm going crazy, dog. I'm pulling out all the stops. We beat Ohio State this year. I'm going crazy. I'm doing something that I ain't did it ever. We beat Ohio State. I'm probably gonna light Ohio State jersey in my backyard with the leaves. I'm gonna put it on fire. If we beat Ohio State this year, I vow to do something special after the game. I don't know what it is, but I vow to do something special. Maybe we get a buckets and burn them, whatever they little peanut head, mascot is. I'm gonna do something special. I'm burning something Ohio State. He said I sent a donation PayPal. Glad seeing that link. I don't have cash yet. Okay, thanks, man. I ain't logged in, but I appreciate it. So when I log in, I'll get the notification. Yeah, he said Browns cleared for Wolverine. So the Wolverines got a transfer apparently. Wake Forest transfer. Shardine Brown received immediate eligibility to play for Michigan. For the Hoops. Okay. He also Juwan Howard got a 5-star the other day. So let's see if he actually comes. Griffin don't play until next week. He can't play this week because of COVID protocols. He said big Sparty Benjamin Foe. Yeah. Put some money up, Ben. Let's bet. I bet you Benjamin Foe. What you want to bet? The Michigan win. Want to do points? I bet any state fan. I ain't betting Ohio State people. I better make a couple Ohio State bets this week, depending on how I go this year. Should Michigan fans bet on some for tomorrow's? What's the spread? Let me see. I can pick that up. We can leave you can see that right now. Michigan. I use the FanDuel Sportsbook. They had a Motor City Casino. I don't know who bet on there. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Let's see what FanDuel got it at. Oh, wow. Michigan favored by 24.5 tomorrow. That's a little bit too much. Michigan favored by 24.5. Jesus. The spread is plus. Michigan State spread is plus 24.5. Either way. So Michigan is favored by 24.5. I don't look anything above like really 10. I ain't messing with. I ain't messing with for real. That's just too much to give up. If the Spartans lose, the bum Michigan will lose to Ohio State. Like the man, stop hating, man. Stop hating. We gonna beat Ohio State this year. He said, "Boy, hell no, you don't believe. You don't believe in them bums." He said Michigan has lost 4 straight. It's only been 4 straight. Feel like 100 straight. We're going to get the job done this year. Let's be positive. Let's speak it, believe it, become it. We beat Ohio State. I'm doing something special. I promise you. I'm doing something special. I want to get the Brutus, whatever his name, and burn him on fire in my backyard with my leaves. I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to do something special. I hope I hope Ryan Day don't put 100 on this, though. Ohio State put 100 on us. I'll be drinking all that weekend. What is it, December 8th or 9th? But hey, I appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow me anytime. I'll let you guys know when I start the Sportscaster page. I should be able to have some time tomorrow to start it up. So I'm going to start over there, and I'll let you guys know when I do the Spreaker podcast as well, too. So check me out over there. Best way you can bless me right now is hit the thumbs up button, share the video if you haven't. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, and Sunday, hopefully next Sunday I'm able to go live for the game. So I'll be going live on Sportscaster once I kind of figure that out over there. So this Sunday we'll be playing the Colts after the game. I at least have immediate I have an immediate reaction after the game. He said, hold on. He said basketball is different. Me, y'all ain't shit in basketball neither. Shoot, Duke was our daddy for so long. You know, we went to Final Fours and championships, and we should have won versus Louisville. They cheated us. For real. He said we must make the playoffs this year, Austin Smith, for sure. He said 9-7 wasn't good enough, so we're going to do much worse. Bob Quinn, Desmond, I think that Sam say what's more sad is Jim may even get another chance to put his credentials. Well, he got sick. Yeah, Jim Caldwell got sick this past week, this year, I believe it was. So hopefully he get better. So he was supposed to be some type of special consultant with Miami Dolphins, but he got sick. But he definitely deserved another job in the league. But health wise, I don't know if he can really do it anymore. But hey, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Share the video. We gone.